Welcome back to Tasteful Choices, and tonight we prepared a chicken and vegetable stir fry with brown rice, and then we also tried some mangoes and pomegranates. The kids learned to chop vegetables, and they also learned a lot about the sugar that's in the beverages we drink, and so they were able to make a better choice when they're going to buy something. And also they learned about phytonutrients and antioxidants that are in all of the different vegetables and fruits that we eat. Okay, so how many of you have ever made stir fry? Awesome. What do you like to put in it? Meat? What kind of meat? Chicken, turkey, venison.
We like to put the tiny little corn cobs or whatever they are.
Little corn cobs? Yeah, we don't have any of those, but you can certainly throw those in. What did you put?
Water chestnuts.
Water chestnuts, okay. Beef? Yep, you can basically make stir fry out of almost anything. You don't even have to have meat if you don't have any. You can use tofu, which, how many of you have had tofu? Do you have?
I've had it.
Yeah?
We have our stir fry with stickers. Bland.
Oh, okay. Tofu is bland, isn't it? Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're doing a chicken stir fry today, and when you go back to your stations, I expect that you're going to, you're all gonna be doing different parts at once, right? Mm-hmm. So, but I'm gonna show you, we're gonna cut some veggies first, and then we're gonna cut the chicken. But again, remember when you cut the chicken, you have 2 cutting boards there. If you need more, we have more, but just make sure you don't cross-contaminate. So that means if you cut chicken here, put the chicken aside, and then if you start cutting the broccoli, now that broccoli is going to have the any bacteria from the chicken on it, and that's not a good thing. So, okay, so we're going to start with vegetables, and you remember I talked about scrubbing. I did that, and so where does the tip of the knife stay?
On the cutting board.
On the cutting board. And what's your other hand? Claw. Okay, good. And we want a flat surface, right, so it doesn't roll around. I kind of like to make different shapes when I cut vegetables because, I don't know, I think it makes our food a little more interesting. So I'm gonna do diagonal cuts for this. You can certainly cut it in any way you want. But the thing I ask is that you try to keep it the same size so they cook evenly, okay? And we don't want huge chunks, we want smaller pieces. So I'm gonna make a V with the carrot and the knife. I'm gonna hold it down like this. And then I'm gonna cut on the diagonal. And if it's easier, you can certainly cut your carrot in half so you don't have the whole long thing to hold. But see, we get diagonal pieces like that. that okay? Okay, put those in here. Have you ever had matchstick carrots? So you don't have to do this, but I'll just show you so if you want to at home. So you get your slices of carrot and then maybe put 1 or 2 in a stack. This is where you really have to practice the claw, and it's kind of hard to do because there's not much room. But just stack it. And see how the knife is just going right along my knuckles? It's not cutting off the ends of my fingers.
That's cool.
See? So you get matchsticks. Like I say, don't do that today, but just for the future. You can do that for a salad, for stir fry, whatever. Okay. And then we're going to have celery. And so I kind of do that with my celery too. I like to flip it over this way because it kind of keeps it more secure. And I'm going to just do the diagonal again. And can you use the end with the leaves?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. Sometimes these can be stronger tasting. I like to use them in soups. I don't know. I'm not going to use them in the stir fry today, but you can. Okay. And now the veggies will cook at different. It takes different amount of time to cook the different veggies depending on how hard they are or soft they are. So sometimes I'll just keep my veggies separate so I can add them when I want. And then broccoli. So remember too, you'll want to wash all your veggies when you get back. I didn't wash yours. So I usually take off some of these leaves. Mostly it's a texture thing. Sometimes they're a little bitter. And then you can cut like this. And pull apart your florets. And then I might cut them in half like that. They won't take as long to cook and they're easier to eat. If they're super big, you can cut them in fourths, okay? And then with the stem, how many of you have eaten broccoli stems? Yeah, they're good, aren't they? They're really sweet. So I don't throw that. I usually, sometimes the skin is a little tough, so I might cut some of the skin off, or the peel, and then you can just cut it into slices or chunks. Again, be very careful when you get to the edge of something. You know, don't get so close that you're liable to cut your fingers. Stop before you get there. Okay, there's that. And then peppers. Now there are no peppers in your take-home bags, but I thought just for class it'd be fun to cook with some peppers. How many of you like?
And cooking stuff. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I like peppers with lunch.
Oh yeah, that's good, isn't it? Okay, so one thing I do is, there's so many different ways to cut a pepper. You can just cut like 4 pieces off. Look at what's inside of that.
Eat that?
You could. I think it's just like it's another pepper growing. You know, you can get rid of, there weren't many seeds in that, but just get rid of that part. And then I cut kind of, I might do strips that are a little thicker and then maybe cut those in thirds. So they're bigger chunks, okay? And which do you think takes longer to cook, the carrots or the peppers?
Carrot, no peppers.
The carrots take longer. So carrots would be the first veggie I would cook. And then we'll probably add the broccoli and then the celery and then the peppers, and also these are not in, oh yeah, these are going home with you. We're gonna do, have you ever had green beans and pea pods in your stir fry? Yes, awesome, good. So I just take off the part with the stem. So you wanna, you can line up several at once. Just get rid of the stem. And I like to keep them whole, but if you want to cut them in half, you can do that too. Okay? Pea pods, you don't have to do anything to those. They're ready to go. And then here's the other thing. For some of you who like hot foods, we have a jalapeno in each. You like hot foods? So if there's one group that doesn't like hot food, are there some people who don't like hot food? Okay, so I won't put jalapeno
Depends
in.
on what kind it is.
Jalapeno, yeah. I'll keep it out of mine so there's one that's not hot. Okay, and so you just, this is where it's really important to be wearing gloves because the oils will get on your hands and burn. So I'm gonna cut this in half like this, and then, can you see what I'm doing here? I'm kind of scoring the inner part out with, this is usually the hottest part of the pepper. So if you really like it super hot, keep this in. If you want it less hot, take it out, okay? And then again, I think it's good to keep these fairly small, right? So you want just a real small dice. Okay. Garlic. This is my favorite thing to chop, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I have to say I used to do it one way, and I've been cooking for many years, and somebody I worked with taught me a better way to do it. So I do that way now, and I'll show you guys just in case you don't know that way. So do you see? Yeah, this would be the sprout end, and this would be the stem end, I call it. It's the hard part. Okay, so you want to cut that off. If it's really super fresh garlic, like from your garden, then that part isn't that hard, and so it's okay to eat it, but it's pretty hard now. Okay, and then you have the garlic there, and you put the knife on it with the flat of the heel of your hand. Keep your fingers up, okay, and then just lean on it, okay? But you don't want to hit it or whack it. I know they might do that on cooking shows, but you don't want to do that. And then this is where practicing the claw is going to be difficult, but just move the product around so it's easy to do. So then you have all these slices, and that's when you can just do this, okay? Into small pieces. And the recipe, I believe, says 1, but I think we need 2 cloves, right? Everybody loves garlic.
I love garlic.
Yeah, okay. And the garlic, so you want to read your recipe because the jalapenos go into like the marinade, okay? And then we're going to put fresh ginger in there. This calls for ground ginger, and most people know ginger from ginger ale, ginger cookies, spice cake, gingerbread, but it's really good in stir fries. And it's really good if you have an upset stomach to make some tea out of ginger. That's really good too. So you just take a spoon ginger, sorry, thank you. Okay, and then you just pull it down and it pulls the skin right off. So, isn't that cool? And it can be a little bit strong, so you don't want to use too much. Have you seen this in the store?
No.
It's there, you just have to look for it. And you want to get pieces that look nice and plump and firm. Sometimes they get kind of dried up.
It smells good.
Can you smell it?
Smells like
Is that awesome?
smells like what?
Okay, and then, you might not be able to get all of the peel off, so then I just cut a little bit. Okay, now, you can use either a grater and use this small one. Like that. And then you're going to have to put your hand in and pull it out, okay? Or if you want to borrow my hand grater, you can use that too and just go like that. Okay? And if you don't have a grater at home, just chop it like you do the garlic, really small pieces. Okay? We good on veggies?
Yeah.
Now, I need someone to please mix up the marinade for me. Do you see the recipe here? It is soy sauce, brown sugar, cornstarch, and then we'll leave the jalapeno out of this one. But let's do it in this bowl. Go ahead and go ahead.
Go.
So soy sauce, brown sugar, and cornstarch. And I believe let's do the dry stuff first because where's the, anybody know where the tablespoon went? Here it is. Yeah, there's only one, so you'll have to share. And then you can put the soy sauce in after. So, how to cut the chicken. I like to do it thin slices for the stir fry because it cooks faster, okay? And you want to cut, have you ever heard of meat having, or the muscle having a grain? You want to cut against the grain so it's more tender. Okay, so you see here, can you all see here these lines? Okay, so that would be, we want to cut against those lines. See them? Otherwise, it could be, like if we cut along the lines, the meat will be tougher and more stringy. So we're going to cut against those lines. And so I'm just going to do thin slices. And I have to tell you, it's easier to do meat when it's partially frozen.
It doesn't move much?
Exactly. And if it's too thick, if the chicken breast is too thick for you to cut all the way through, you can cut it in half like this, okay? And then just do a smaller piece at a time. But this is where you have to be careful. The knife might not slide all the way through. So you might have to saw a little bit, okay? Now, I think this recipe is a little, I think the marinade, it's not very much. So there are enough ingredients if you want to double it, okay? And then if it's still a little bit too dry for your taste, I have some chicken broth we can add while it cooks, okay? Good. So I'm going to take off my gloves because they're full of chicken. And I'm going to turn on the stove, left front. Okay, and do you remember what what we do? We don't want to put anything in here until it's,
That's moving.
yes, exactly. Yep. I'm just really surprised at how little liquid there is in this.
I know.
So I think, I would recommend doubling this, or at least doubling the soy sauce, I think, and we can add a splash of that to it too, okay? See, that's what happens when you feel comfortable cooking is you think, this isn't gonna be enough, so let's change it up a little bit, okay? So you, I'm just gonna, no, there you go. So that was about a 1/4 cup, I think. Okay,
I do 2 cups spaghetti.
okay.
And I've cooked brownies before. And
So you want to make sure you're using one of the bigger burners on the stove. Okay, and you put in about a tablespoon of oil. So you see that it's hot, right? And now we're gonna put the chicken in there. And sometimes you'll use your knife to take things off. You wanna use the back of your knife, not the sharp side of your knife. You know why?
Because it's going to scratch the board.
It'll dull the knife. Yeah. Okay, and this is where you have to be careful because it might be hot and the oil might move around. Okay, and then I'm going to get rid of this right away. Wash my hands. And then when you're at the stove, you don't have to have your gloves on so they don't melt, okay? You can spread it out a little bit. And now normally when we're sauteing something, I don't like to stir it too much because I like it to get a little bit brown. But when you stir fry, you want it at a high enough heat that you kind of have to keep stirring it, okay? Can you guys see? And I think let's add the ginger and garlic to the marinade too, okay?
There we go. What happened to the ginger?
Can't really do much.
It's, I didn't do that much of it, but there it is, yep.
There's a carrot in there.
There is, that's okay.
So what does the marinade sauce do?
The marinade, usually this isn't really very much, but typically I would maybe have the chicken sitting in that sauce, that marinade.
Is it like the sauce on it?
It gives the meat a lot of flavor, okay? So, and I'm gonna even throw in because I said let's double it, right? So let's do 2 more of these. You wanna?
Oh. I just
Now
thought you
we
were
need
gonna
the
start
spoon.
pouring.
1, 2. But I think the sugar, I don't think you have to double the sugar or the cornstarch.
Oh, service case, that's a great idea. Sounds good.
Okay. So you guys can decide too what size meat you want to cut your meat. Yep. Okay, and then when it's pretty much cooked, we'll add the marinade. Okay. There we go. Put that in here. So now you want this to cook. You want to make sure the chicken's done. So actually you want to probably fry it a little bit longer than I did, but I want to speed this up so you can get to your stoves. And this you have to keep stirring, otherwise it's going to burn, stick to the pan. Okay. And then when it's done, you should have another bowl, and if you don't, we'll make sure you get one. And then you can just put it in the bowl while you're doing the veggies, okay? And then with the veggies, just add a little bit of oil, half a tablespoon or so. And then which one are we gonna start with? Carrots, and then celery. Thank you. And then broccoli, peppers, beans, and pea pods.
What are these supposed to be?
Oh, we're gonna just try those at the end, pomegranates and mangoes, just for fun.
I've never tried mangoes.
Oh, good. Okay, so now I'm putting it in here. And you guys want to be careful too that this pan is really hot. And so if you set it on the edge of the plastic bowl, it's probably going to melt the bowl, right? Okay. So now let's add a little bit of oil.
We don't have to clean it out or anything.
I think it should be okay.
Carrots have a taste.
Yep.
Yes, I want celery. Yeah, the carrot, but they get a more stir-fry taste.
Yep. So it should, this is a little underwhelming. It should just really fry, but it's not. It's hard to do a real stir fry on the stovetop without a real wok, okay? Or if you have a gas stovetop, maybe it's easier. Propane.
You just got a new one.
Okay, there you go. So you want to just continuously move it around. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to add these now. So this is the,
Lifeless body of the baby.
and I'm going to actually add the broccoli right now too. Okay. And it's okay if you start to add the other veggies before these are, you want these to still be a little bit tender, okay? We'll go. I'll put this in. And then at the very last thing, you're gonna throw in your pea pods, okay? What do you think makes the sauce on the bottom of the pan get kind of burnt like that? What in the sauce maybe makes that happen? The cornstarch, exactly. So what I might recommend is waiting to add the cornstarch at the very end before you go to sit down. Like, don't put that in the marinade, and then we'll add it right at the very end. That sound good? And then you won't get the burnt part. Very good. Okay, that's it. So then you add the chicken back in. Combine it all and then turn it way down to low. Okay? Go to your kitchens.
So, a few things that we're going to do today before we get back to eat, all right? I want us to talk about all of the vegetables that you just included in your meal, okay? So I'd like us to do it by color. So what are the different colors of vegetables that you are including in your meal?
Red.
Red. And what's red?
Pepper.
The pepper, okay? What are some of the other colors that we're including in our meal?
Yellow. Yellow.
The yellow. And what was yellow?
Red pepper.
Did you had a yellow pepper?
Yeah.
Oh, you did. See, I only saw red peppers. Okay. So somebody had a yellow pepper. Orange, that's right. And what was orange? The pepper. Okay, that's right, that's right. You guys had the orange pepper. All right. What other colors do we have going? Yeah. What else was orange? The carrot. So we've got orange. So we have peppers and carrots that are orange. Okay. What other colors we got? Green. And what did we include that was green? The broccoli. What else?
Green.
For what?
Jalapeno.
Oh, the jalapeno. Okay. Did you guys put jalapeno in yours? Did you? For some spice? What else? Green beans, right? Okay. Peas, that's right, we had peas. Any other colors? What? Ginger is kind of yellow, isn't it?
And garlic is white.
Garlic, white.
I don't know what that would go.
Well, you know, it's not really a vegetable. I mean, I want us to be talking about vegetables here, but we did include the garlic, right?
You know ginger is tan.
Yes, but we're not including that in our recipe, though. Remember, we took that off. So, any other colors of vegetables that we used? No. Are there any colors that I would say would be, I should have brought my poster, that would be like in a rainbow of colors? When you think about all the different colors of fruits and vegetables, is there any color up here that's missing? Is there any way we could have added any other colors? Any other?
Oh, orange.
We have orange. We've got a couple of oranges. Yeah, 2 orange colors. Purple. What could we have?
Eggplant.
Right. No, I'm thinking of colors though. So what we didn't add, the color that we're missing
Onions.
is purple. It could have been onions. We could have added onions that were purple. We could have added eggplant that would have been purple.
Oh, I don't know anything.
Blue, but do you know of any blue vegetables? No. Probably,
Purple pepper.
right, blue fruit though, right? Okay, so a purple pepper, right? Okay, so you got the idea here, right? So there is a reason why, because these are not in the recipe, that we selected all of these different colors to be added to your dish tonight. Why do you think we only, I'm going to word this differently. Why do you think we didn't just put green broccoli in your recipe? How come we added all of these colors? Makes it more appealing.
You kind of want color to your food instead of just having like all of these green vegetables. It doesn't make it fun and colorful.
So adding the color to your dish, right? Making it look nice with all the color. Why? Or so there's adding more flavor, right? Adding more flavor. Why else? Why else did we use all these different colors? For the different juices, which would add flavor. You got it. Besides everything that you guys said, it adds more flavor, it makes the dish look nice. These different colors of vegetables, and this is one of the main reasons why we added them, because there's different nutrients in the different colors. Okay? So there's something that's really special about the colors of vegetables and fruit. And if you look at my plate, okay, so this back side of my plate, what does it say about the vegetable group? What does it say?
Eat more dark green and red and orange vegetables and beans and peas.
Right. Okay. And the very top, what does it say?
Vegetables color your plate with great tasting vegetables.
Color your plate. Okay?
Great tasting vegetables.
That's right. So it's talking a little bit about the color. Now, have any of you heard this word before? Big word. Big word. And I'm going to write it up here. And this is a word I'd like you to remember. Okay? And maybe you've already heard it.
Phytochemicals.
Phytochemicals. Has anybody heard this word before?
I feel like I've heard it.
You feel like you've heard it?
When my mom was still working for Jodi, she said that.
Okay. This is why I want you to remember this word. Phytochemicals are in all of the vegetables we eat. It's one of the most important nutrients that's in our vegetables and in our fruit, besides our vitamins and stuff, right? Phytochemicals determine the color of your vegetable. So if I eat an orange vegetable, it's got this phytochemical in it that turns that vegetable orange, okay? If I eat a red vegetable, it has a different kind of phytochemical that turns it red, all right? Every phytochemical fights off diseases inside our body, helps to prevent big diseases, okay? Things like cancer, things like heart disease, things like diabetes, okay? Phytochemicals, they make our cells, the cells, how our body is made up of cells, it makes them really strong. So things like viruses and germs can't get into them and make our body sick, okay? So every phytochemical fights off diseases a little differently. So when you eat different colors, you get different phytochemicals fighting off these different germs and diseases inside your body. If I only eat green vegetables, I only get that one kind of phytochemical. So that's why my plate says, color your plate. And I like you to think of it as kind of your vegetables, as kind of a rainbow of colors, and trying to eat different colors. I mean, look at all of these different colors. You are going to have a very colorful plate tonight. And we are trying a couple of fruits too. Yeah. And so that's even adding more color to your meal.
I've never tried this one.
That's awesome.
I've never tried mango, but I love pumpkin.
Okay. Now, okay, so now here's the other thing about phytochemicals, you guys. I'm going to divide this word. So we've kind of got two words going here, phyto and chemicals. Phyto is a Greek word that means plant. Phyto means plant. So phytochemicals are plant chemicals, naturally occurring plant chemicals that actually all plants have them. And those phytochemicals, they help to protect the plant from getting sick. And when we eat them, they help to protect our body from getting sick. This is why, okay, when you look at my plate up here, half of our plate, so like half of the food we eat every day should be fruits and vegetables. And of these two groups, which are we supposed to be eating a little bit more of every day?
Vegetables.
The veggies. That's why that veggie group is larger. The fruit group, do you guys know why is that fruit group smaller? The sugars. It's got that natural sugar, right? So we don't need to eat as much. If I was going to put a number on these, I'd say I at least try to eat 2 fruit a day and at least 3 vegetables a day. And think of the dish that we're making tonight. We really added a lot of veggies to it. I know, only 2 fruit. That's all you need. If you eat more, that's fine, as long as you're exercising, right? But it's because of the sugar in it. Kind of the same size. You don't need a lot of protein either. protein, and we'll talk about that another day. I just wanted to kind of touch base on fruit and vegetable, but you don't really need a lot of like meat. You don't. We eat much more meat than we really need. Okay? All right. So that's our fruits and vegetables. Now this is what I would like you to do. We have an activity that we're going to do about sugar. How many of you read the nutrition facts label on whenever you have a package of food? Huh? How many of you read the nutrition facts label? Does anybody look at that?
I've done it before.
Have ya? What do you look for when you do that?
Like how many sugars are in it?
Okay.
I usually look for like the serving size.
The serving size, okay? So what we're gonna do, you guys, what we're gonna do with these beverages is we're gonna check and see how much sugar is in them, okay? Why should we even care about how much sugar is in them? Huh? Why should we care about that?
It's not very good for you.
In large amounts, it's not, right? And the thing about sugar is it adds a lot of calories to our food, okay? So, and that's the reason why that fruit group is so small. Now, I would like everybody to find your nutrition label and find the word sugars. Just a minute. Find how many grams of sugar.
22 sugar.
Okay. Okay. Everybody find that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want you guys to also find how many servings are in your bottle. You got 2. How many do you have? 1. How many do you have? How many servings?
bottle.
1 bottle. What is yours? Should we find where it says? Servings per container. How many? About 2. Okay, leave the lids on.
And like there's so many people that just like drink that.
I know, so this is the deal. Those grams of sugar that are on your label, that's how much is in 1 serving. So if your bottle has 2 servings, you have twice as many grams of sugar in the whole bottle. So I want you to figure out how many grams of sugar are in your whole bottle. If you have 2 servings, then you got to double it.
Can I do math on my thing?
Yep, you can do math right here on this handout.
What if you have 2.5?
Then you're going to have to multiply. Yeah,
Divide it.
multiply it. Multiply it by 2.5. So what have you got here? 13 grams times 2.5.
2.
Okay. How many?
With 1 serving.
Oh yeah, just use that line. Okay. So how many do you? 82. 27. Okay. So write it on your piece of paper, you guys. Write it on your piece of paper. How many grams of sugar do you have? Now, what we're going to do that you have your total grams of sugar, we're going to convert those grams of sugar to teaspoons because you're going to measure out how much sugar is in your bottle or can into a cup. So this is what we have to do. 4 grams equals 1 teaspoon. So what you have to do, you have to do division, and you have to take your total number of grams of sugar and divide it by 4. Just divide it by 4.
Can I use my calculator?
Yeah, if you have it right there. Do you have your calculator on you? You can use a calculator or divide it out. And this is what I want you to do when you're done, you guys. When you're done putting the sugar in your cups, I want you to take, you guys listen, after you do that, we're going to see that table over there. We're going to bring our beverages with our sugar over there, and we're going to line them up from the most sugar to the least sugar.